So on the Friday before Christmas, a few days ago, I had some buddies around, buddies from high school, because I was anticipating Christmas Eve, Christmas, Boxing Day. It's going to be very family friendly, not just your immediate family, you've got the extended family, the fucking aunts, the uncles, the grandparents, the cousins, the second cousins, the in-laws, the outlaws. It's all fucking a lot to contend with over a period of time. So my plan was, why not have like a fucking a bit of a night out with the bros and the plus ones prior to all that kicking off. It's kind of like a palate cleanser or something, like a shot of liqueur before a meal or something. Just a bit of fun, nothing crazy, and then you can kind of go to the meal and then take care of it, as opposed to being like, all right, I'm trying to eat this fucking meal. I wish I had some fucking sambuca before this all kicked off. So that was the plan, right? Had some buddies around, and because we're back in Australia for only a brief period every year, the grandparents are always keen to babysit my little dude, and so yeah, had the night to myself. We had some friends around. We had dinner. The misso decided to call it a night, and then so the last man standing, and this is what I was kind of hoping for, because I put the call out to a bunch of people, but we had some dropouts, and people just weren't able to make it, which is understandable. It's a busy time of the year, but the benefit of a small group is you can have the more of an intimate catch up. You can actually have a chat with someone as opposed to a bigger group when it's difficult to contend with. So anyway, had some dinner, cleaning up, and before we're going out, me and two other bros decided to do the dishes, right? So anyway, we're just chatting, having a couple drinks, doing the dishes, team effort. Two guys I went to high school with, reminiscing. And at one point, one of my buddies, who is recently single, so he's on the apps, and I noticed this weird look come over his face, and me and my other bro were just talking about something random. I was like, "What's going on? Well, why have you got that look upon your face, my good sir?" And he's like, "I just opened up this kinky little dating app, because it seems like now it's diversified, and you can choose your own adventure in terms of what type of fuckhousery you're into." And he's into a more kinky type of game. So he's on one of these kinky apps that the kids are all having fun with. And anyway, he's like, yeah, and look who's the first person I saw on the app when I opened it up. And he showed us his phone, and it was some chick from high school who we all knew relatively well. And it was perfect because, guys from high school, and okay, we don't kind of, it's not fucking like Bruce Springsteen Glory Days is always playing when we hang out. I like to think we're relatively in the present, but when you've spent formative years with people, there's certain things that stick out that were, you know, incendiary moments for you, and or just crazy shit that happens, and new people you meet in your life. You can't share that type of shit. You can't be like, remember when so and so shit himself in social studies? Doesn't really cut it when you're at a happy hour with some new work friends. You gotta rely on the old bros and get and people to kind of discuss that type of shit with. So yeah, we were kind of like, there's a bit of nostalgia floating around. Remember when this happened? Remember when that happened? And then wham bam, here's this chick. And I guess what was funny, to add a little bit of context, we're all back in Perth, but we're in a different part of Perth from where we grew up. So it's not like, that wouldn't be that impressive a story to be like, oh yeah, we're in the same fucking postcode that we went to high school with, And whoa, what are the odds? Someone is into the same shit that you're into, who is the exact same age and still living in the same area. It was just a bit surprising because we're in a completely different part of town. But it does beg the question, and yeah, not gonna lie, looking at the pictures, and I'm not sure if it was because it was a kinky app, but she was definitely showing some skin on her little fucking ad for a clam on the app, and she looked good. And uh, yeah, we were like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "Nah, I can't swipe on her. Too much water's gone under the bridge." And it's true, right? Because it's funny with let's put this girl. I guess at the time I would have called her a friend, but in reality she was like an acquaintance. So I didn't, we didn't really have that much in common, or spend a great deal of time. She was an acquaintance. It was fine at the time, but it's only when things end, like when the forced schedule of school ends, you kind of find out who the actual friends are, where you're having to like make the effort to continue to see one another. There's a lot of people from your school, you don't bother with that. You're perfectly friendly with them at the time, but then it's just like, yeah, let's let that relationship expire because we're not just going to be in the same room for a few hours every week. We're gonna have to force ourselves into the same room, so it's not going to happen. Therefore, I realize you're an acquaintance all along. So this chick was an acquaintance, right? And in reality, enough things could have changed in her life and in your own life, my buddy's life in this example, where it's like, yeah, you know what? You could actually be friends now. Like it wouldn't just be you would be like, oh yeah, I remember you from back in the day. You've changed, and she might feel the same way about you and be like, yeah, now we're just genuinely closer. We should become friends or hook up or whatever it is. But you kind of can't though, because it's like, yeah, all that shit that happened in high school where we didn't really like each other that much. Can we overlook that? And also just the fact it's like it's kind of weird where I'm still kind of close with a bunch of my buddies from high school, and so there's kind of like a cliquey aspect to it where it's like someone goes and gets a new girlfriend, you go like fucking stealing a bit of livestock. Just like, oh, you got a new sheep, sick, bring it back to camp. Yeah, if you go and bring a random one back, that's fine. We've never seen it before. It's a clean slate. But if it's like an old fucking bit of mutton we've seen before, then it's like fucking hell. How are we gonna add this one back into the mix? You need to go get a clean sheep. Not a clean sheep. She doesn't have to be clean. We just have to never have seen her before. Because it's too hard to, like even disregarding the weird, it's just too hard to fill them in. It's like I did an episode about this a few weeks ago where it's like people I knew once and I don't know anymore. There's a part of me just likes to pretend that they're not alive, that they've been unalived. I don't wish them any harm. I just don't want them to be walking the earth, if that makes any sense. And yeah, so I feel like that's a strange thing. There's many people where it's like in high school, I thought you were a loser, or you thought I was a loser, or we just didn't really get along that great, didn't have much to talk about. Now we could be besties, but we're never going to cross that threshold because it's just like, no, I can't do it. You ignored me when I wanted to talk about in grade 9. And then we got paired together in year 10 in science, and I tried again. I was talking about The Mole, my favorite fucking TV show in Australia, or maybe Manhunt, and you had nothing to say then either. So therefore, I turned my back on you. 20 years have passed. We can now be besties, but fuck you, because you didn't talk to me back then. You're also that person for many people as well, where it's like, yeah, they think you're different than who you actually are. And you could be totally proving them wrong if they gave you a chance, but they'll never give you another chance. So you got to go find fucking some fresh sheep. And the fresh sheep that you find, the irony is here, they're fresh to you, right? But to someone else, they're old news. They're just like they're unacceptable. Isn't that funny? You meet someone new and exciting, and they're really exciting to you just because they're new, but to someone else is the most boring fucker in the world. Life's weird, man. All right. Thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one. Bye.